Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from a beautiful Cape Town. Today is International Customs Day, and I want to congratulate the WCO, our African partners, our regional partners, and also our host organisation today, South African Revenue Services. Thank you very much for the opportunity to celebrate this day with you, and I hope this year ahead is going to be exciting and an innovative year for all of us. I must also compliment SARS on the work that they've done with the modernisation activities and that they continue to do. We've gone from a world of paper, can you believe it, pink, yellow and blue paper, to where you today can sit anywhere in South Africa, in fact anywhere in the world, and you can pass customs declarations and get customs releases in an automatic and speedy fashion. So we now need to look at the next phase and how we can take this and actually make it a bigger, brighter and a better environment.
Great timing. I have a vessel arriving in the harbour in a few days' time, and I would want to show you how easy it is to submit a customs declaration based on all the outstanding work that SARS has been doing in the last few years. If you come and have a look here, you can see SARS has created these data ecosystems and APIs where we can submit electronic export declaration and import declarations on which we can then build our own dashboards and centers where we can look at the information, accurate information and expediting processes. So I have an import order on this vessel that I'm going to click through and action that from a customs clearing perspective. Through a few clicks of the button, I'm able to look at the customs declaration, see the routing of it, and using some of the other tools that are available, I'm able to also get a view of live shipment tracking, the exact dates and times that the vessel went through the various different ports. So using this information, I'm able to verify that the data that I'm submitting to SARS is 100% correct. And this really talks to these data ecosystems that allow for speedy customs declarations. So through a few clicks, I can create my customs declaration. I can then go into it, validate it, and make sure that all the information is correct. And if it is, we can submit that off to customs. While we wait for the customs release to come through, I just received an email to say that one of my previous declarations has got a SARS query on it. And this requires that supporting documents be submitted electronically through to SARS. And through the systems that are available, we're able to actually view that these documents have been submitted automatically through to SARS to allow the documentary inspection process to be completed on the SARS side. And if I go through and look at this particular transaction on the system, that the supporting documents have been submitted through to SARS, and the documents through the audit trail that we have available are sitting with SARS to investigate that. And we hope that we'll get a release very soon. While we were waiting, we've got our EDI release back from SARS. So we can see through the system, we've got an electronic release from SARS, which is completely devoid of paper in the process. And we have complete auditability of the, when we submitted and when the release was received. And we're able to generate our customs release notification, which is everything that we need to be able to clear these containers.
I want to start with a little bit of background about the business environment and what has transpired over the last 2 years. As you are well aware, e-commerce and online trading has made a huge impact and inroads in the last 2 years. And it's not by any chance that 6 of the world's top 7 companies are now currently what we call ecosystem companies. These are companies like Alibaba, Apple, Microsoft, and these companies provide not only the original service that you know them for, but also a whole host of other services to you and also other goods to you, hence making them ecosystem companies. Now, this environment has dramatically changed the way that the customs authorities needs to look at organizations, and it also needs to change the way that organizations look at the engagement with customs. This has resulted in us having as I call it, a triangle of influence, where customs, trade, and the other government agencies needs to work together to ensure that we work in a collaborative fashion and we both achieve the objectives that we've set out to do. Our triangle of influence is currently built on trust, but unfortunately trust is not scalable, and we need to build our relationship on the truth. Now, how can this be achieved? This can be achieved by using technology. A good example of where technology can be used to actually get to the truth is actually tamper-evident asset management. Now, that sounds like a lot of words, but what it in essence means is that you will affix a seal to a vehicle, and if that seal has been tampered with, you will immediately be able to identify it. Now, that addresses a number of concerns. The threats to customs authorities around smuggling, counterfeit goods, all of this will be addressed, and also the concern of industry to have their goods arriving safely at the end destination. The solution is actually very simple. It's a combination of a physical solution, a very simple, low-key seal that gets affixed to the vehicle or the container, and then underpinned by a very elegant digital solution, which in some instances might even be a blockchain solution. In terms of a blockchain solution, each of the parties then, being part of the blockchain community, will be able to access information. Some of them will be able to track the vehicle. Customs will be able to see what has happened to the vehicle throughout the journey until it arrives at the destination. Now, this is a very good example of where technology can be used to give us the truth and not only rely on trust. This also fits in very well with the strategic direction that Mr. Beyer-Strachan shared with us during the last review with him, where he indicated and asked the question whether affixing seals at places of departure is actually an option for trade, and the answer to this is very much yes. A current project that's being done by the Peru Customs Authority is piloting this very simple concept very successfully in the agricultural business, and I think from a customs perspective and a South African customs perspective, it will actually be a very good pilot project to endeavour in the new year.
So using technologies such as AI, OCR, visibility tools built on top of blockchain and other technologies has allowed us to automate a lot of the work that we do. So this has fundamentally changed the way we work. So instead of capturing loads of information, we're able to now use our time to rather validate information. So this has allowed us to change the way we work, and we spend more time validating information is correct, looking at providing visibility into processes, and looking at the quality of data as opposed to just capturing information.
Ladies and gents, I also want to share the latest technology trends for 2022, because some of these trends are critically important for the customs environment as well as the trade environment. The first trend that I'm going to be sharing with you is data fabric. So maybe to explain what data fabric is, we understand that data is very important and that we have lots of it. What we don't understand is that data is very often still siloed, and that means the data cannot be used effectively. What data fabric does, it integrates data across a number of platforms and a number of users, making data available everywhere where it is needed. By 2024, data fabric deployments will quadruple efficiency in data utilization while cutting human-driven data management tasks in half. This is quite a frightening statistic if you think that this is only 2 years away. But this has been identified as one of the future trends, and it is important that this is embraced and looked at within the customs environment as well as the trade environment. The second trend that I want to share with you is privacy-enhancing computation. PEC allows data to be shared across ecosystems, creating value but preserving privacy. This is naturally very important for customs authorities because they cannot share data and not protect the privacy of the data that they are sharing. I think this is one of the most important trends that customs authorities should embrace, and the prediction is by 2025, most large organizations will use one or more forms of privacy-enhanced computation within their environment. Trend 3 that I want to share with you is hyper-automation. Increased focus on growth, digitization, and operational excellence have highlighted the need for better, more widespread automation. And I think this is the one area where customs can really embrace the trend. I believe hyper-automation is one area where both from a trade and a customs perspective we can collaborate. A good example, for instance, is areas where we need to provide information and static information to customs. We can agree what needs to be provided and we can actually just automate those processes, and that information can be made available to customs in an automated manner. The fourth trend that I want to share with you is AI engineering. Now, AI provides game-changing solutions to enable organizations to emerge from the pandemic in a strong position. But merely adopting AI won't do the trick. What you need to do is engineer AI in a way that it actually integrates with your workflow, delivers pipelines, and that you can get consistent business value from it. It also combines automated updates into the pipeline with strong AI governance. This is a critical important trend because AI underpins a lot of the work and a lot of the risk mitigation and risk evaluation that is being done by customs authorities. Trend 5, distributed enterprises, is a virtual first, remote first architectural approach to digitize our touchpoints and build our experiences to support ourselves and our engagement. It is critically important that we recognize the importance of this particular trend and adjust our business processes and our engagement with each other. It is actually wonderful today when we have a meeting with our customs authorities or with our regional bodies, we can just go and sit on a chair instead of getting on a plane. Although we miss seeing each of you, we do recognize that this is the future and that we will see each other on less frequent occasions, but still be working with each other through a digital and virtual format on an ongoing basis. Trend 5 is not necessarily a big technology trend, but it is actually something that has impacted all of us on our day-to-day way of engaging. It is therefore critical that we recognize the importance and start designing our processes and our engagement around this. The last trend that I want to share with you is Trend 6, is generative AI. Generative AI is a form of AI that learns a digital representation of artifacts from sample data and uses it to generate new, original, realistic artifacts to retain a likeness to the training data but don't repeat it. This is where we get into the space of robotics and artificial intelligence in its real form. And this trend is going to influence our future more and more as generative AI plays a bigger role. The prediction is that by 2025, generative AI will account for 10% of all data produced, up from less than 1% today. Quite a staggering forecast if we look at the short period. So this trend again needs to be embraced by the customs authorities and trade and built into our business processes.